Hello, here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. In the previous episode, we explored a little bit more of a Koholint Island, and did some more Scary Demon Dungeon epic awesomeness. And in today's video, we'll be taking care of something that's exclusive to Link's Awakening DX, which means that most people who played this game have already played it, because nobody ever re-releases the original version. How sad. With the Pegasus boots equipped, we can now knock over this book off the shelf. Do you want to read this book? New World of Color Under the 5 Gravestones. 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. This combination will always be the same whenever you replay through this game. Try with all your might, open a new path. Whoever is worthy receives the power of color. I wonder what the World of Color is. I think it's a pretty awesome nighttime show at Disney California Adventure. This is not a chest. What? You knew that? Okay. I love that one so much. But yeah, that combination that we saw, that's going to always be the same whenever you play through this game. So, technically speaking, this dungeon has actually opened up to us way earlier in the game than we believe. So I used to think that you always need the Pegasus boots to be able to gain access to it, because if you come in here a little bit sooner, there'd be the same dialogue that pops up that says, "Oh, you're not courageous enough. Go away, you little punk," or something like that. I'll have it on screen a little bit later today. But if we go over this way, we want to head over towards the graveyard. Now, this actually opens up to us as soon as Bottle Grotto. If you know the combination for this, we could have done this a lot sooner, and like I said, the combination is always the same. So it's just going to be moving these these gravestones around. And then, boop! Our colors are never the same. If I am red, he is blue. If he is red, I am blue. What color is my cloth? Blue, blue. Don't tell anyone. Do you have the powder? If not, you must go back. Our colors are never the same. If I am red, he is blue. If he is red, I am blue. What is my cloth? Red. Don't tell anyone. The Fairy Queen is waiting for you. Now, something really cool about this, and I wish I had a way to record this. But Link's Awakening DX, contrary to popular belief, is not actually a Game Boy Color exclusive. It works completely with the original Game Boy. So if you have the original black and white Game Boy, you can still play this version of the game. The color dungeon works and everything, it's just that, you know, you can't actually see the colors. Down here is going to be a bombable wall, and this, my friends, is going to be the best spot to grind up on rubies. This room will respawn all these rubies every single time you come into this place. Unless you're playing the Switch version, in which case it doesn't. But in this version, it does. Every gem ruby thingy will get you 5 rubies, so we can head back out. And in the words of Finding Nemo, we'll be going out and back in. And then we'll go out and back in. And then we'll go out and back in. And sometimes, if you want to do it 4 times, we go out and back in. But yeah, like, I really wish I had a way to record the original Game Boy. Like, the oldest Game Boy I have is the Game Boy Advance SP. The Game Boy Color that I grew up with, I left it with my mom when I moved out of the house, so unfortunately I don't have it anymore. And I did have an original Game Boy. Like, I had the yellow one they released for Pokemon Yellow. I had that one, and I had a purple Game Boy Color growing up, so I don't know exactly what happened to it. I think my dad has it, question mark? I don't actually know the answer to that, but like, yeah, that's a game for me. But yeah, like, I never thought to try the original, like, Link's Awakening DX on the original Game Boy, but it does work, and if anybody has a footage of trying to go through the color dungeon on the original Game Boy, please send me footage of it, because I'd love to include that in, like, a bonus video or something like that. Something else kind of amusing about this graveyard I don't remember which one it is. One of these, like whenever you touch the graves, a giant ghost will come. I go, out there! Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, that giant ghost will come out. I think it was during the original Let's Play I did this game back in 2014 when I first discovered that that guy was a thing. And I think what I said along the lines was that that guy was going to give me nightmares. I said that as a joke, but I think later that night I did actually have a nightmare about that guy. So that was an amusing story. I've been told recently that I don't know how to end stories. And ever since then, whenever I look back on like trying to tell a story and things like that, I'm like, huh. I guess I do know. I guess I don't know how to tell a story. But yeah, we only need like 10 more rubies to conquer the world, or get the theme about the bow and arrow. So yeah, we're gonna grind up on this area. We would have gone this a lot faster if we just stayed in the guard dungeon. But I want to relive my childhood trauma of cutting grass for hours on end. It's actually a good opportunity to demonstrate this. So what I've always wanted to know. Is it faster to go like this, or to go like this? We're gonna figure this. We're gonna figure out the answer to that right now. And now we know the results. Yippee! You can also go like this, but I don't like doing that much because I just prefer the tactility of mashing the button to cut the grass. And now we're going to do something that I have never done in this game. I'm going to actually buy the bow and arrow. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to buy the bow and arrow before we get into the 4th dungeon. I've always waited until, like, I think after the 5th dungeon, because by then I usually have enough without grinding or anything like that. But we're going to do this before we finish the 4th dungeon. So, yeah, that's pretty fun. That's pretty amusing. After you come back in here, there's going to be some arrows that you can purchase as well. So that's going to be something that's pretty interesting. But now that we have this, we are now ready to head back over towards the color dungeon. The wonderful world of color. We are low on hearts, I gotta be careful. Alright, so the color dungeon. I gotta be honest, this is the one that I'm the least familiar with across the entirety of Link's Awakening. It's not that I don't like this dungeon, it's just that like, all the other ones kind of stand out a bit more in my mind compared to this one. And it's really weird, because, like, I do think about this dungeon a lot, because the idea of a color-based dungeon is pretty cool. It's just that, with a fairly decent, large population of colorblind players, this isn't exactly something that's the most accessible thing in the world. So, that's why you don't really see a whole lot of things like this nowadays, or at least, if they do, they are nice enough to give you, like, a colorblind option, or something like that. So, that's something that's pretty nice. It's going to be amusing because in the Oracle games, there's actually going to be 3 of them. There's going to be the Mystical Seeds of Power, Wisdom, and Courage, but when they canceled the 3rd game because they realized that juggling shared content between 3 games would be too complicated, the 3rd game was going to be based off puzzles based around color and things like that. Like Mystical Seeds of, I want to say, like Wisdom and Power were going to be based off, what I'm trying to say. So, 2 of the Mystical Seed games are going to be based off puzzle solving and combat, similar to what we'd got with the Oracle games. But the 3rd canceled game was going to be based off like color puzzles and things like that. So that's pretty interesting indeed. Die, statue! Here is your clue. Make all the red blue. Blue, blue. Now, the quickest way to do this is to only touch the ones in the corner. You've got the compass! Yay! So yeah, whenever you attack one of the gummy bear statues, it's going to switch around that color and the ones directly next to it. So that's something that you'll want to keep in mind because, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Now, I do want to eventually try to finish this dungeon on an original Game Boy because, like I said earlier, that this is entirely... Whoa! What? Wait, that was a mushroom. That was a mushroom. No, gonna cheat. You saw nothing, I didn't cheat. Okay. Let's get the mushroom. There we go. Huh. Wait, is this a glitch? It's a toadstool you picked in the woods. What is it for? You hold it over your head, and a mellow aroma wafts into your nostrils. Right, I feel like I'm not crazy. That sprite was glitched, wasn't it? It totally was! Oh my god! That sprite was totally glitched! Oh my god, okay. I'm so happy now. I have a definitive answer after all these years. I was always curious about that, because before this Let's Play, I didn't know if you could pick the mushrooms again, and then I got curious what would happen if you keep the mushroom with you, and now I know the answer. Oh my god, okay, I'm satisfied. I am a very satisfied gator.
Already it is. Take care, as there's not much there. Why not try a bit in my hut?
You've got some magic powder. Try sprinkling on a variety of things. Yeah, like, I never knew the answer to that because I never had a reason to come back here to get more magic powder because they always just give you magic powder in New World anyway, and I never used them enough to run out before I can find more. So, yeah, I'm happy that we have the answer to that after all this time. That's what I'm really loving about this Let's Play, is that, like, even though I've replayed this game so many times, I'm still finding new discoveries about this game. It's just amazing. Okay, back into the color dungeon. I swear this is the last time we're gonna leave the dungeon mid-video. Okay, let's continue onwards. I apologize for the kind of scatterbrained nature of this video. Yeah, I am usually pretty scatterbrained, but I just need to know the answer to that. And now we do, so we don't have to do anything else. So over here, we got those jumpy guys. I don't remember those names of those guys off the top of my head. Because they're definitely not Stalfos or Gibdo or anything like that, but they're just so bouncy. They're just so bouncy. Like, look at them. They're like, doo 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 doo. No! Oh no! Oh! Oh, I feel so bad for them. Oh! Oh, that's so tragic. That is so tragic.
What a greedy fool. You want some more power? A buffoon like you might as well give up and go home.
This is a guy that can never figure out how you're supposed to defeat without taking damage or anything like that. So, never mind. I was about to say we made it pretty far without taking damage, so hopefully... You know, actually that was a spike that hit us, so that doesn't count. This might just be me, but does this guy make anybody else think about Galaxy Quest? So, the movie with Tim Allen and folks like that. There's a scene where Tim Allen's character is on, he's like got stranded on a planet, and these aliens start chanting for a rock monster to show up. And now that scene used to freak me out when I was a kid, like with those little like children-like aliens. Like that used to freak me the hell out when I was a kid. Here is your clue, make all the red blue. just like before, let's hit all the reds. Only the reds and nothing but the reds. Yay, they're blue! I like blue! Blue is my favorite color. We do not have a locked door. Is there anything inside these jars? Yeah, so this is what I was saying earlier when I was talking about the fact that as much as I love this dungeon, I will say this is probably the one that I'm least familiar with across all the games. Simply just because of the fact that a good chunk of my playthroughs this game were from the original game, like on the black and white version. So there have been like a good chunk of playthroughs of this game that I've done where I haven't done the color dungeon. Like even in the DX version, like this place isn't required for 100% completion at all, but it is still something that's somewhat noteworthy.
Ah! Oh, we were on top of the treasure chest!
Wait, the treasure chest is kind of blocking the door. Okay, so how this game spawns treasure chests is that if it's gonna spawn on the same square that Link is standing on, it'll automatically go one down further from him. But because of the way we were standing, it's kind of blocking the door a little bit. That's is it gonna stay like that? Oh man, it's not. Well, that's still fun. I love finding glitches in games. So yeah, the neat thing about this is that go away. Okay, so yeah, if you're trying to finish this on the original Game Boy, you don't have the benefit of color or anything like that. Honestly, trial and error will probably work out pretty well for you, because like the color combinations are gonna be the exact same every time. So yeah, for this room, for example, the top left and the bottom right are both gonna be green. So even if you can actually, owie! So yeah, even if you can't see the colors or anything like that, like, eventually you'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, we have a key! Yeah, we're here!
Alright, where are we going next? That's not the bottom orange bush. Wait. Man, we've explored a lot of this world already. I love pulling up the map and seeing how much we've done. Alright, we could go off to the left a little bit more, but I feel like we should probably go to the right before we do anything else, because there might be something over there that we want to do first. Now, I'd like to be quiet for a moment, because I want you guys to pay special attention to the music in this place. The Color Dungeon theme is a remix of the dungeon theme from the original Zelda game. So that's pretty fun.
Boo! I am no weakling. Your pitiful sword is no match for me.
What about the shovel?
Whee!
I am not singing that song properly at all, right? Now we got you. Owie. So yeah, we want to throw the magic powder on him, and he'll like jump around like a little sissy baby. This guy always makes me think of that one guy from Minish Cap, like the first dungeon boss in that game. Because like you fight like a buzz blob, like a giant buzz blob, who's just like a normal enemy normally, but because they're tiny, he's like super powerful and things like that. So that's what this guy makes me think about. Actually, that should be the other way around. Minish Cap would remind me of this guy, because I didn't really play Minish Cap a whole lot when I was a kid. Like, I didn't even get it until it came out on the Wii Virtual Console. So, yeah, it would be the Minish Cap boss that reminded me of the Color Dungeon guy. Alright, we got the Nightmare's Key. Now we can open the door to the Nightmare's Lair. I want to get more to Minish Cap, just in general. And, like, I wish I liked the game more than I do. And I'm not saying that's a bad game or anything like that, I'm just saying that there's a couple things here and there about it that bother me. Like when you're trying to explore the overworld and things like that, I just feel like they just put like so many little restrictions on where you can go that you don't really get a whole lot of options to explore in that game. And I know the same is true for this game as well. Like, the world is pretty open up to us at the moment, but we are still fairly limited on where exactly we can go. So it's not actually all that open, and same is the case for Minish Cap, but I'm biased towards this game because it's the greatest game of all time, and no one can change my mind otherwise.
Blue is safe, yellow is cousin, red is danger.
I will be honest, I don't fully understand this guy. So, we want to keep attacking, and we want to be super duper careful when we are attacking. So, if we don't continuously attack him, the color is going to change back to blue. But I feel like you have to just go super repeatedly against him, but then these stupid, like... I don't know what these things are. Like, those stupid projectiles he'll fire at us. They make me think of those, like, pool toys that you would throw around, like, around the pool and things like that. But, I don't know, this one, I'm not too fond of this one. But, luckily for us... Okay, I guess it doesn't go through projectiles. Yellow's caution, red is danger, take your time. Yeah, if it's red, then it's going to start spawning some bad guys, so we want to be careful with that. I don't like that fight in general, because the dialogue boxes keep popping up, and it like keeps interrupting the fight. I'm not too fond of that fight. The rest of the color dungeon is pretty cool, but yeah. We found a girly girl! How you doing? Welcome, Link. I admire you for coming this far. I'll give you the power of color. If you want offense, choose red. If you want defense, choose blue. Which power do you want? Now, you can choose one, and if you want to switch to the other one later in the game, you can always come back to the color dungeon later. Unfortunately, from this point out, the green tunic is going to be gone. So, buy green tunic. Between these two, the blue one is my personal favorite. The blue one will give you more defense. Think of it as like a permanent guardian acorn. And the red will be a permanent piece of power. For a little bit, we're going to use the red tunic. Relax and close your eyes. You've got the red clothes. Your body is full of energy. Yeah! My body is ready! Oh yeah! Look at that super awesome smash power! Whee! Okay. Yeah, the red tunic, it is pretty cool. We are going to be switching to the blue one later in the Let's Play, but I'd like to hold on to the red one for a little while. It's just so cool. Like, that's just so cool. And I feel bad for the people who were playing this on the original Game Boy, who weren't able to appreciate the colors, because again, Link's Awakening DX, not actually Game Boy Color exclusive, it does work on the original Game Boy. With that taken care of, that's going to be it for this episode of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, leave the gator to you. Oh yeah.